Prepare a few points on which you'll speak, but not every line. So it is a common mistake that when you are preparing for a speech, you are trying to prepare line by line. That I'll first speak this line, then I'll speak this clever line, then that clever line. How many of you do this? You guys said many of you that you do this, right? And this is a huge problem. You cannot prepare for a speech like that. But what you can prepare, you should definitely prepare, is that you prepare a few points. Okay. So if I am going to speak on, so you can see like even today, this slide deck that is there, right? There are some points written here. The entire speech is not written here. I'm not reading from here, right? It just have some points. And I take the point and I speak about it. And now even in this, there is a lot of points written. Earlier, I used to give speeches. There will be just the heading written. And I'll just look at the heading and I'll just speak about that. Because I know what to say about that. But I don't need to prepare every line. I just need to have those pointers. That's all. So prepare a few points. Okay. So I'll show you. So you can prepare a deck, a slide deck. You can prepare flipping cards, pointers, cards. Okay. You can write down 4 or 5 points on a piece of paper on which you are going to speak, and that is enough. Right? You just have to write a few points. So for example, if I am going to give a speech on, I don't know, on democracy, I can decide, okay, these are the 4 questions which are very important about democracy, and I'm going to answer only these 4 questions. So I just need to remember these questions and in sequence. 1 question 1, question 2. Okay, one question is that, is democracy important? Why is democracy important? Okay, that's it. Why is democracy important? 1 point. I'm going to talk about this. Second, I will talk about what are the alternatives to democracy. Okay. Are there any alternatives to democracy? So these are the alternatives to democracy that we have seen in the world. Third, is India a democracy? Let's say the third question is this. Is India a democracy? I'm going to talk about this. So these are the 3 questions I'm going to talk about, and that's it. Right? So you can write down 3, 4, 5 points, and you decide that I'm going to answer these 3 or 4 questions, and that's it. That's all. And this is my speech, and you can just give that talk, right? So it becomes much easier, and you don't have to, because you cannot memorize and deliver. It is a very bad idea. But you can remember these 4 points, and you can talk about each of those 4 or 5 points. This is a great idea. Another thing I'll do is that I'll use illustrations. So I have these three questions. So in every question, I'll decide that what examples will I give? What illustrations will I give? So I can write down that what are the first question, that what is a democracy, right? In that I will give an example of democracy in Athens, in ancient Greece, and democracy in India, in small city states that happened in the ancient age, right? So I'll give these 2 examples, and I can decide. So I know when I'm talking about it, I'll give these 2 examples of democracies that flourished in the past, right? So like that, very simple, right? Use illustration. And the next point is that, what are the alternatives of democracy? I can say, okay, there is theocracy, there is monarchy, there is blah, blah, blah. And I can say, okay, I have examples of each of these things also. So that is also another way. Use illustrations is a very good idea, right? So I can use stories from my own life. This is a very good thing actually to do. Try to use stories from your own life. How many of you are connected with me on LinkedIn? You'll see I write a lot of stories about my life, right? Even when I am talking in my webinars, I am using a lot of stories from my life. Do you not connect better when I tell stories from my life? Do you not understand it better? Right? You get the context better, you get the point better when I tell my stories, and you start thinking of stories from your own life when I do that. Yes or no? Correct? So use stories from your life to deliver those points. This is a very good idea. Saying the same stories again and again will improve your delivery. This is also a very powerful thing. When you're the same stories of your life, you deliver again and again and again, it will improve your delivery. There's a story I tell very frequently about 2 different people I've said many times in my life about how I found my first client. And I have told this story many times. And I have improved that if you say the same story again and again, every time you say it, you get a reaction from the audience. So you know how to say it better. Every time you improve how to say it better, how to say it better. And if you have said the same story 50 times, then the first time the way you said it and the 50th time when you are saying the same story will become better. And you will be able to use this story in many different contexts. So you will become a better public speaker by saying the same story again and again. It's a very good idea. Don't think that saying the same story again and again is not good. Okay.